NBA opening night, we're going to be looking at this two-game slate using the Sims tool, the contest generator over at Stokastic.com. Going to cover both DraftKings and FanDuel on this video. I've already built out lineups for DraftKings and sim them, so going to talk about the results, players I'm getting to, and we'll do it for FanDuel as well after we cover DraftKings. As you guys are watching this, do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow. Really do appreciate it a whole bunch. Also helps keep all of our content free. And if you're looking to sign up for our NBA package, now is the time, because only for the first week of the season, when you sign up using the promo code TIPOFF, there's a link below that'll take you to our site to sign up. When you use that promo code TIPOFF, 20% off, and that deal is only going to be available for the first week of the NBA season. So come check out our new tools, which I'm going to be covering here to help us build lineups. And let's get into it, starting with DraftKings, and I'll favorite the top 150 lineups here. And the number one overall projected lineup by simulated ROI that I have in here, it is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Jonathan Kuminga, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, Klay Thompson, Josh Okogie, and Kevon Looney. One thing to note about tonight's slate is that we currently have Devin Booker and Bradley Beal both listed as questionable. I call this NBA bullshit. I think they're both going to be fine, good to go. The other injury news we have is that Draymond Green is officially out for today. He was listed as questionable and got ruled out about a week ago. Steve Kerr said he was going to play on opening night, and apparently not the case. But let's go ahead and look at some of the individual exposures that we have for players, and I'll go position by position here, and we'll look at who it is that we're getting the most of and who are also underweight to at each spot. So we're going to basically just be able to see everybody here since it's only a two-game slate with limited options. But if we do look at the point guard position, the player that we're getting the most exposure to is Chris Paul. But with that said, Paul's projected for 70% ownership. He's in 48.7% of my lineups here. So actually underweight to the field on Chris Paul, and who we are overweight to right now with point guard eligibility is Devin Booker. Devin Booker only projected for 24% ownership, and we're getting to him in 39% of the top 150 lineups. So keep an eye on Devin Booker, because not just the fact that he's questionable and I expect him to play, but there's also a pretty good chance that when he is upgraded to in, that could mean that his projected ownership goes up. But at least as of now, he's not expected to be all that popular on the slate. Let's go ahead and look at the shooting guards now. And shooting guards, we're getting overall the most of Klay Thompson. He's in about half of the top 150 lineup, so more or less even with the field in terms of what the field is doing with exposure to him. We've got Devin Booker here as well with shooting guard eligibility, and coming in underweight to the field on D'Angelo Russell. Russell projected for 26% ownership. He's in 7% of my top 150 lineups. And if you guys remember how last season ended, it was with the Lakers really leaning towards Austin Reeves as somebody who is getting more ball handling responsibilities, getting more playing time than D'Angelo Russell. So we'll see if that ends up continuing on to the season. We are getting to more of Austin Reeves than Russell from the Lakers. At small forward, we are getting the most of Josh Okogie. So Okogie is one of the cheap players who I think makes for a really excellent source of value on this slate. And I thought he was going to be super popular for this two-gamer. And I mean, to an extent he is. He's projected for 29.9% ownership, but it's not crazy popular for a two-game slate. And we actually are getting to him in 74% of lineups. Nobody that we're massively underweight to the field to is small forward eligibility, but the standout here is the amount of exposure that the Sims are giving me to Josh Okogie. And then at power forward, a lot of Andrew Wiggins exposure. He's expected to be popular. He's going to be uber chalky today with Draymond Green now being out. But still, it looks like not enough of the field is getting to him just based on this run here where we're getting to 72% of Andrew Wiggins, him and Okogie, two of our most rostered players, and coming in a little bit underweight to the field on LeBron. Actually, hardly any LeBron, only 1.3% of lineups with him. So only a couple of LeBron lineups that are making it into the portfolio here. Center, if you're paying up, of course, it's going to be Nikola Jokic. So we've got Jokic and Anthony Davis as two pay-up options at center, only getting to 6% of AD, while we're getting to 71.3% of Jokic. And then also Kevon Looney is standing out as a value play. A lot of that's to do with the absence of Draymond Green. And then Yusuf Nurkic, recently traded to the Phoenix Suns. He's somebody who's fairly cheaply priced in that mid-range over on DraftKings, at least relative to historic pricing for Nurkic. I'm interested to see how the different pieces are going to fit for the Suns, but at least to open the year, it does look like Nurkic is pretty underpriced over on DraftKings. So next thing we'll do is we'll build lineups out for FanDuel here, and you guys can kind of see how the whole process works in the Sims tool. So Going to build 5,000 lineups for FanDuel. If you guys are on the max package, you can build up to 5,000 lineups. And then if you're on the base package, you build up to 500 lineups here. And one thing that is also cool for a 2-game slate is this is going to take dupes into account, where it's not going to matter quite as much for, these big like 9-10 game NBA slates. We don't run into dupes all that often, but it is pretty important for these small 2-game slates where a lot of lineups are going to be duped, pretty heavily in large field tournaments. And that is going to impact our simulated ROI, where we could take these dupes into account. So if you look here at this page, the lineups and ranker, you can see how much of each of these lineups are expected to be duped. So I like this lineup: Bradley Beal, D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Okogie, Michael Porter Jr., Kuminga, Wiggins, Gordon, Jokic. That's expected to be the most duped lineup, at least per this run of lineups over on FanDuel. So I'm going to go click Simulate Lineups. Let's see, what is the percent payout to first on FanDuel tonight? $200,000 $1 million prize pool, 200,000 to first. So I'll set this to 20% to first as the payout. And now we will simulate. So what was up there before, those were the FanDuel lineups the DraftKings lineups that I had built out and simulated before. Those are still on the screen. Now overriding them with the FanDuel lineups. And pretty quick process here. Won't take all that much time, which is why I'm just doing it on camera as opposed to making these videos separate. And then also within here, we have our late swap tool. So if you're ever playing a slate, which is going to happen all the time in NBA, guys get ruled out after lock, you use the late swap tool, you upload your CSV, and then you could re-simulate the slate based on updated information, player projections, updated ownership, all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go and see what we're getting to the most on FanDuel. Favorite the top 150 lineups. And the number one overall projected lineup by Sim ROI on FanDuel here, it is Jamal Murray, Bradley Beal, KCP, Josh Okogie, Rui Hachimura, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. So same deal, we'll look at the individual exposures position by position and see what we're getting. Starting with point guard. So I would assume what the biggest difference we're going to see on FanDuel relative to DraftKings is because we only have one spot for a center. We're going to be getting to less of Jokic, which means more space to spend up at other spots. So we're seeing Steph Curry show up a whole bunch here. 62% of Steph Curry. He's our biggest stand at the point guard position. And just like on DraftKings, we're coming underweight to the field on Chris Paul, who is only making it into 13.3% of our top 150 lineups, where he's projected for 32.8% ownership. So underweight to the field here on Steph Curry. At shooting guard, we are getting to the most of Josh Okogie, followed by Steph Curry, and we are underweight to Austin Reeves and Eric Gordon at the shooting guard spot. Small forward, that is not how you spell small forward, SF. Got it right that time. Small forward, Josh Okogie, MPE, so he is also somebody who pops up a ton here at small forward. Overall, our lineup's 94% of Josh Okogie, so he's close to a lock and load play on FanDuel, at least per our current run of ownership and player projection. So Okogie looks really good, getting to a lot of Kuminga as well at small forward. And then if we go and scroll down, underweight to the field on Austin Reeves, underweight to LeBron as well. A little bit more of him on FanDuel than DK, but still not a ton. It's not like DK where he's almost an outright fade, but still only 12.7% of LeBron James here over on FanDuel. Power forward now. Power forward, we're getting to a ton of Aaron Gordon, 82.7%. The top lineups here with Aaron Gordon. He's projected to be chalk, 74.6% ownership, but still somebody who looks like he's worth being overweight to the field. And then underweight once again to LeBron and then Anthony Davis. So Sims, not liking the Lakers players on FanDuel or DraftKings. So I guess the Sims are Lakers haters as well. Center position, and yeah, this is where we're getting to, although almost exactly even with the field on Nikola Jokic, still much less of him on FanDuel than on DK. The center we're getting the most of is Kevon Looney, who is in half of our lineups. So that's a quick rundown of just what the Sims are liking for tonight's slate. Players to be overweight to, players to be underweight to, and some lineups to look at. If you guys like this tool, and all this is including our NBA package, the contest generator, Sims tool, late swap tool, and then all the other stuff too, like player projections, ownership projections, sign up using that link below, promo code TIPOFF. Get yourself 20% off to start the year. Thank you guys very much for watching. Good luck tonight.